This is Daily Treasures with words of comfort, encouragement, and hope from the Word of God. Here is Dr. Nick Venditti with today's devotional.
August 7. Team building glorifies Christ. Welcome to Daily Treasures from the Word of God. Today's reading is 2 Corinthians 5-8. Our lesson is from 2 Corinthians 8:23. As for Titus, he is my partner and fellow worker among you. As for our brethren, they are messengers of the churches, a glory to Christ. One of Paul's great leadership qualities was his ability to sponsor others. Paul knew that his task as a leader included the formation of emerging leaders. In this epistle, we see him mentoring a young pastor named Titus. Let's look at 3 ways Paul sponsored Titus. First, Titus was the Apostle Paul's ministry partner. Under Paul's mentoring, this young pastor had developed into a trustworthy and faithful servant of the Lord and a devoted member of Paul's ministry team. Paul was confident that Titus was up to the task of ministering to the church in Corinth. Paul sponsored Titus, that is, he gave him legitimacy in the eyes of the Corinthian church, telling them that Titus was his koinonos, that is, sharer or partaker in the ministry. His use of the phrase fellow worker gave Titus the status of an equal partner in the ministry team. Paul was telling the believing community in Corinth that the presence of Titus was just as if Paul himself was there personally. Next, Titus was the Apostle Paul's representative. As such, Titus was to speak authoritatively to the situation in the Corinthian church. The full weight of apostolic authority was behind Titus as he went on the mission to Corinth. The apostle did everything in his power to let the Corinthians know that Titus was his spokesperson. Finally, Titus was of the same accord as the apostle Paul. The apostle emphasizes a very important aspect of leadership, that of unity in the ministry team. Paul elaborates on this in verse 16. Unity in leadership is crucial to advancing God's kingdom. Paul did not expect lockstep uniformity of mind in his ministry team, but he did expect unity, be of one mind, as he said in another place. Unity keeps us going towards the same goal. In conclusion, Titus was the Apostle Paul's partner, Titus was the Apostle Paul's representative, and Titus was the Apostle Paul, or he was in same accord as the Apostle Paul. Let us learn to equip others in ministry to advance the cause of Christ. Paul shows us how, by mentoring emerging leaders, sponsoring them, and giving them ministry tasks as they are ready for them. Paul always traveled with one or more emerging leaders. They learned from him not only the knowing part of ministry, but also the doing of ministry, and most important, they saw in his example what it means to be a servant of the Lord. If we truly want to multiply our lives in ministry, Paul is a good example to follow. It has been a pleasure to share with you daily treasures from the Word of God. Tomorrow's Bible reading is 2 Corinthians chapters 9-13. Let's not forget the words of the psalmist. The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Until tomorrow, and may God bless you in abundance as you study the Word of God.